Ooh,
Yeah.
you go getter, people.
We go getters.
Don't be limited.
Yes.
This is Friends with Benefits, where my friends share their empowering stories and whatnot with you to benefit you. In this episode, I'm introducing you to my friend Skyler.
Hi, everyone.
Yay! Skyler and I have known each other since high school, and we have a mutual best friend. Shout out to Moana.
Shout out to Moana.
Yes. Since those teenage years, sis, I have seen you just be so confident in who you are. I always saw you as that kind of person. And I've always admired like how you carry yourself. Like you were always beautiful and popular, but you also like didn't follow the crowd. You also were goofy and silly and like fun to be around. So my first question is, if you could go back in a time machine to any age and give yourself some advice, when would you go back to and what advice would you give yourself?
Well, first of all, thank you for your kind words, because I definitely did not think I was all cute and popular back in the day.
Girl, yes, you are.
I would definitely go back to, I think, freshman, sophomore year, Skyler. How old is that? Maybe like 15-ish?
Yeah, 14, 15.
14, yeah. 15. And that was the time in my life that was a really big deal, because I finally gotten into my dream school of, I got into Kamehameha, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I made it. And that was a turning point for me, in the sense that I had a chance to like invent myself, you know what I mean? Like nobody knew me. It was like a clean slate. I could go in and be whatever Skyler that I wanted to be. So that was really exciting. But I think also I felt the pressures of high school. It's like you're a freshman. I came from Sacred Heart, so I was like all girls school, and then oh my god, there's gonna be boys at my school now, and I'm like, oh my god,
boys
I was like, I gotta be cute and whatever. So I'd probably go back to that, Skyler, and be like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like it's not that serious. You don't have to like show up with your hair flat ironed every day with your cute lip gloss and your fake flower every day. You know what I'm talking about, because we all were that girl,
yes,
freshman, sophomore year, we had our fake tiare, and we had like our mascara with our foundation from Longs, and like our lip gloss. And
girl, I went to all girls school the whole 9, so she never did that much,
But you had your flower though.
Yeah, we did have the flower.
So I think going to Kamehameha and like, oh, okay, now I'm around boys, I have to be cute or whatever. It's like, it's not that serious. Like they don't even care. So yeah, I would just go back to that, Skyler, and be like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just be you. Everybody's going to love you for who you are, not like how you're looking or how you're trying to like present yourself to make friends. I think there was a huge pressure that I put on myself to like make friends too, because I was new. I only knew the girls that were coming over from Sacred Hearts, and I was yearning for that community and that friendship. And so thankfully I found Moana and I found, Cassidy, and I eventually found my group through sports and everything. So yeah, definitely going back and telling her, don't worry, it's going to be okay. You're going to find your friends and life's going to be great.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, that like around Cass and around Moana, you were who you really are. And those people are still in your life,
Exactly. Like 15 years later, they're still stuck with me. I still talk to them like every other day or at least once a week. So yeah.
And the people that we used to like pretend for, we don't even remember who they are, the people we used to pretend to be something.
Yeah, we're not even friends on Facebook, don't even follow you on Instagram,
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. And it's even evidence to say like, that the people who we are ourselves with is the people we make real connections with, and that's evident.
Yeah, and those people stick with you for life. So yeah, really thankful that I at least was myself with some people now.
Yes, you
That
were.
I
You
figured it
were.
out. I figured it out, I should say.
And just to give you a little credit, like at that age, nobody knows who they really are. Like we're all still figuring out. I know my 20 was like self-discovery journey, and we're still
Mm-hmm.
going to keep learning who we are, So for that to happen, like I did see that confidence in you, and I did see that coming through in you. I guess because
Thanks.
I know you through Moana too, I think I just saw your true self in that
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's good. That's a good one. Tell her, don't worry about it, sis.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
worry
worry
about
about it, sis. You're good.
it. Okay, so my next question is you were also crowned Miss Hawaii in the
Mhm.
United States beauty pageant, right?
Miss Hawaii
What
and the Miss America
Miss America
organization.
pageant.
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
That was 2012.
2012.
Yeah,
Okay, girl.
tomorrow actually makes exactly 9 years. So I'm
Wow.
almost at the 10-year mark. Yeah, pretty
Girl.
crazy.
Okay. That is crazy. That's crazy. And like now I'm just gonna like, do a little bragging on you for a second. And like now you like fly jets in the military. If I'm correct, you travel around the world. You bought your own house in Hawaii where it's so expensive to buy your own house. So like where do you believe that courage to have such big dreams comes from? And like what have you learned in going towards those big dreams?
Um, I think I've always been like a go-getter, and it's one of those things like once I set my mind on something that I'm going to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it like, or I'm going to be the best at whatever I do. You know what I mean? It's like there's no, I'm just going to do this for fun. Like no, I don't just do things for fun. Like I do things to be the best, that I personally can be. It's not necessarily like competing with other people, but being the best me that I can be through pursuing these goals. So I wasn't like I didn't grow up doing pageants. I didn't grow up doing any of that kind of stuff. I played volleyball, as you know, growing up. My whole life was just sports, and I think that instilled a competitive drive. So sports
Mm.
has instilled that in me to like work hard and compete and be the best. And so when I was finishing up my college years, that's when I was introduced to the Miss Hawaii organization. And I was like, I could do this Miss Hawaii thing. Like, I could do this. And so I took that athlete mindset and that sports mentality and applied it into the pageant world. Right. And so I looked
Wow.
at Miss Hawaii and Miss America like a volleyball match. Like, okay, I got to train. I got to do these things. I have to prepare for game day. And so that's the way that I looked at it. And so I think that's kind of where that drive came from. And then same thing when I decided that I wanted to pursue my like childhood dream of flying airplanes, right? I was like, okay, how do I get there? Because that's like game day. I got to train. I got to do all these things. So it took that same mindset. But
Wow.
really, once I won Miss Hawaii, it opened up so many doors and opportunities for me. And I really learned a lot about myself. And I realized that I could do whatever I wanted to do. Like I had always said, like, oh, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. But like to actually believe that I could
Mm.
do whatever I wanted to do, that was a huge turning moment for me because I was like, I no longer have to be in a box or, do what people say that I'm good at. Like, oh, you're really good with kids, you should be a teacher, or you're really good at this and speaking, you should do like public speaking, you should be on TV, all these things. I'm like, yeah, cool, did that. But like deep down, I was like, I really want to fly. And now I know that I can do whatever I want. It's not a crazy far-fetched dream anymore. Um,
Wow.
that I know I have the capabilities to do that. So that was kind of what pushed me to chase my childhood dream of being a pilot.
Girl.
Yeah.
How many parts of that story did I get goosebumps? Because holy monkeys, man. I love that. Like the believing in yourself outside of what anybody else says, or just like because you know it's possible. And I love that part
Mm-hmm.
of like it sounds like you had courage to go after big dreams because you knew you could prepare for something and you could prepare and be capable of anything. That
Mm-hmm.
is like a part of you that always knew that about yourself. That is
Mm-hmm.
so good. That is
Yeah.
so good. Man, I love that. And it came from sports. I think that that is so amazing. Came from
Yeah.
your sports, came from your family, I'm sure. You
Yes,
know,
for
do big
sure.
things, do big things. Ooh,
Yeah.
you go get it, people.
We
Do
go
it.
getters.
Don't be limited.
Yes. Don't be limited. I think that's like the biggest thing that, when I talk to people or people like, do you have any advice or whatever? I'm like, don't put limits on yourself. Like whatever you want to do, you can totally do it. Like you have the
Yeah.
capability to do whatever you want. Just make a plan and go do it and get in touch with the right people. And it's so easy. It's so easy once you like fully commit and you fully believe that you can do something. Like you can do whatever you want.
Ooh, that's powerful. It's like the hardest part is believing you can do it.
It is.
Yeah, that
It's
is
the
the hardest part.
hardest part. Yeah.
Is just saying, yep, I'm doing it. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yes. Can
Mm-hmm.
relate. I can relate. I
Yes.
wanted to know if you wanted to share anything that you were proud of. Is there any like projects or things that you want to share with the listeners that could benefit them? Because what are you kind of, is there anything you're doing that you want to share with people?
I think one thing I'm really proud of that doesn't get much attention and that a lot of people are going through right now is
Mm,
like the comeback. You know what I mean? Because we've all been in this weird funk, right? We're all experiencing all of these trials and tribulations right now with COVID, whether it affected you, directly or not. Just
mhm,
being locked down, having all of these restrictions, rules, masks, like all of these things have altered the way that we live right now. And
totally.
it's really easy to fall into this like, oh, feel sorry for me, or it's so sad, or my life is so difficult. And yes, it
Mhm,
is difficult right now. Nobody is denying that life is, not easy.
right.
But being able to kind of come out on the opposite side, like, okay, well, yes, life is difficult, but you know look at what you have right now, be grateful for what you have and how far you've come. You've made it through this crazy time. Like be proud that you made it through this rough year and a half or whatever, and maybe your life has completely changed, maybe it's stayed the same, maybe it's gotten better, but no matter what, where
Mm,
you're at right now, just kind of like take a minute to like look back at all of the things you've done, all of the trials you've been through, and be grateful for the ups and the downs. And if there was more downs, that's okay, but be grateful for those because you're only going to be stronger from it.
yeah, man. You're only going to be stronger from it. I feel like that's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing we forget about when we're in that fall, when we're
Mm-hmm.
feeling like failures or when we're feeling like stuck or frustrated or overwhelmed or, pressured. We forget that like it's like getting ready for the next part. Like there's strength that's building in that pressure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that, sis.
Totally.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure a lot of people
Yeah.
can relate to that. I know I can for sure. It was a weird year. It
It
was
was
a
a weird
weird year.
year.
And it's
It's
not
been
over.
it's
It's not
not
over.
done. It's
No.
a weird era. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like, come on. This fear is like, oh, come on.
I
Let's just
know.
check out this fear. But
Yes. So trying to find the positives and just be grateful for, where we're at right now is all we can do. Is all we can control is our perspective and our mindset, right? So thinking with a twist it
yes.
around, everybody.
Yes.
Twist it around. Look
Yes.
at the bright side. How appropriate.
Yes, girl. It comes from a reason. It comes from a reason. This
Exactly.
title here. Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you, Sky, to like take your time out of your
Thank
busy life and
you.
day to come and talk to me. And
Yeah.